you ever seen one of those take a book, leave a book boxes? You might find one of these boxes on your walk home from work, might be near your school. I got to thinking, as you walk by these things every day, how many people walk by them? Could this little wooden box be somehow important in somebody's life? Could this be the thing that they stop by and they look in every time they walk by it? I wanted to give back. I wanted to do something. I wanted to put a business card in it. Wasn't enough. I wanted to put stickers on it. Maybe that was vandalizing it. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to dirty it up or muddy it by tagging it. So I thought maybe give back. So how? How do I give back as an artist? Well, I can make a painting that looks like a book. I could slide it in. Hopefully nobody notices. Hopefully one person does. I don't know if I will, but I can only hope that this little piece of artwork brings a smile to someone's face when they open that box. That being said, talk is cheap. Let's paint a couple and go drop them off today. Today we're going to do a painting of an image I've been working on for a while now. This one here is going to become a bigger project later, but in the meantime, I want to just do a nice, easy, quick one today. So I think we're going to go with this image because it's fresh in my mind. So when I'm painting a small picture like this one, I want to start with the background. So that way later when I come around, I don't end up covering up all the hard work I've done with the background. So I like to lay it down first. The only problem with that is I have to wait for it to dry before I can actually start my project. I know a lot of artists that will go in and they'll do the fun part first, while they're still full of enthusiasm or inspiration. And about, an hour or two in, the inspiration starts to fade. That's when they use that time to fill in the background. But the problem with that, I find, is you always end up touching the hard work that you did. And it just creates more problems, and you have to come back in later and retouch or fix everything you accidentally touched with the background. So to me, it doesn't make sense. After all these years, I figured out a routine that works best for me. I like to paint the background first, so that way it is done, and then I'll come in with my main focus, my images afterwards. I will come in with my shadows and my darkest darks first, followed by all my highlights and the lighting. The background always seems to be one of the hardest things for me to figure out, because you never know if you want the background to be sort of blurry, like far off in the distance, or if you want the background to be a solid color or some sort of blend of lighting. So after I lay down a couple coats in this background, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna come in and I'm going to lay my first coat down on that banner. Before I start this, I'm just giving myself like a basic layout of where I want things to lay, but I'm gonna start with the banner just because I'm very familiar with it. I've done it a bunch of times and feel like I can get it done really quick, and then I'll move on and work on the chains. But I feel like starting at the bottom or the top really isn't that important when it comes to my art. It's just what I feel like I can accomplish quicker. So if the banner is made of a material, it probably won't take as much time to paint, where the chains, because light falls on them, and I still haven't figured out which direction I want the light to hit this, I'm going to focus a lot more time and effort on them, so I want to save them till later. I like to put my light in the top right corner a lot. The reason why I do that is because when I was spraying shadows with spray paint cans, I'm right-handed. So when I do my shadows, it doesn't leave overspray on the actual letters themselves. So if I do my lighting source in the top right corner, I feel like I get a cleaner shadow with a spray can. I'm happy with the first coat of the banner there. I color blocked it in where I want the shadows. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna move on to probably the chains. I'll color block them in, work on the flower, and then start again at the bottom and work my way up. I asked myself what I wanted to bring to life. Now there's so many traditional roses you could do that are like tattoo flash or realistic, but when I first painted it, I wanted to paint something from my own head. I wanted to paint something that was, if I had to recreate it as fast as possible, what would it look like? So the first one I did was on a wooden coaster when we were camping. The kids were painting all kinds of little things on coasters, and I decided to paint this rose on one. I liked it so much, I spent a year drawing it over and over and over again until I came up with a design I liked, and I put it on a small canvas. Now that it's on a small canvas, I'm going to bring it to life on a much larger canvas. But the point I'm trying to make though is, out of all the roses I could have done and spent a year playing around with, I decided to go with something that was my own, so that way I can completely say I am the creator of this piece, which is a really nice feeling. There's only, I don't know, a dozen or so paintings in my collection that I absolutely love. They're from the realms of my imagination, not just things I've seen before and I wanted to use them as practice in order to get better, but bringing to life something that now I could do in a sketchbook or on a wall with a spray can or on this tiny little painting, and then I get to test myself and prove my mettle by putting it on a much larger painting, much larger canvas that I'm going to keep for myself and never sell. So now that I've got the color blocking that I want for this rose, I want all my darks in first. I'm going to go work on the chains for a little bit, and then when I come back, I'm going to do all my lighter reds and all my highlights, and I'll work on the leaves. So let's do a little work on those chains. First, I'll do silver with a little bit of black. So as I work on the chains here, I just want to color block where the shape is going to be. This is going to be sort of my darkest of the silver. I added a touch of red to it, so it'll look like there's a bit of a accent in the highlight. So when that's dry, I'll come in with the clean silver. So that's going to dry now. And then I'll come back in. I'll do the highlights in the chains, the flower, and finish with the banner. Okay, so we're just getting finished up here. Just adding a couple of small details. I just have the S to finish on the banner, and I think we're gonna be done in a minute here. Do I even want to outline it? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just fill it in with a color. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another one done. And ready for the small box. I'll probably end up putting this one in this box. That one in the graveyard. And that one on the path. All right, well, now that we've painted a couple, let's get out there.